to Elitsa for the papers today. They're analysing Iran's strategy against the United States. Elitsa, what have you found?
Yeah. Hi, Stuart. Hi, Brian. Let's start with the Wall Street Journal here that says that Tehran sees itself as the winner of a war that would allow it to establish a, quote, Pax Iranica across the Middle East. That means that Iran is aspiring to regional domination and is ready to escalate to keep its control over the Strait of Hormuz, says the paper. And the paper also explains that Iran is playing the long game, and it believes that when it finally emerges as a regional hegemon, American sanctions relief will follow. But for John Bolton, who is Donald Trump's former national security advisor, Iran is simply too weak to make peace. His opinion was published here as well in the Wall Street Journal, and he says that the US-Israeli strikes have so successfully decapitated the leadership that no one has the authority to negotiate anymore. Then the New York Times here says that hardliners in Iran want to keep fighting America. The paper explains that the death of a large portion of the hardliners in Tehran has prompted conservatives to fill the void by intensifying the fight against the United States and by portraying compromise as strategically dangerous and morally illegitimate. And finally, French paper Libération here also talks about the leadership vacuum in Iran. It says that this vacuum fuels rivalries within the conservative camp, and the paper explains that the absence of the supreme leader is leading to instability and ambiguity over who really has the upper hand in leading national and also international affairs.
Elissa found us an incredible story from Japan. Apparently it's an unexpected refuge for Russian spies.
Yeah, that's an investigation here by the New York Times titled "How Putin Turned Japan into a Den of Spies." So the article says that after Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine, Western leaders expelled hundreds of Russian spies, and that was, of course, so they could stop the Kremlin from collecting intelligence, but also to stop the Kremlin from buying equipment like microchips, transmitters, and other things used to make weapons. But dozens of those spies are now found in Japan, and the New York Times explains that they were attracted by the country's weak espionage laws and the flourishing high-tech industry. And in fact, 90% of Russian missiles and drones have Japanese pieces in them, according to Ukrainian estimates. And the paper says that at the heart of the operation is a Russian military intelligence unit known as the 20th Directorate. And you can find more about it in this investigation here, Stuart.
And finally, we're going to finish on a lighter note with Elitsa. She found us a very nice, wholesome story. This is about an unexpected friendship.
Yeah, it's about Barley the dog and Louis the duck.
Barley and Louis.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So this is Barley, and when she was 7 years old, she was diagnosed with epilepsy, and she was prescribed some meds that made her kind of lose her spark. She was sleeping all day. She didn't have the zoomies as much, and well, if you like dogs, you know that for a golden retriever, that's quite rare. So her family decided to adopt this 4-day duckling here, and this is a picture of their first meeting here. And Barley's family said that they immediately fell in love. They became best friends. They've been spending every day since together. It's a very weird friendship.
It's so cute. I love the way they've got a whole photo album of all their different...
Well, actually, they're Instagram stars now, Stuart, as you might imagine, because, well, they're so cute, I understand. So their owners are posting their friendship story here.
And the music's perfect.
And they also wrestle sometimes. Look here, it looks a bit like Barley's trying to choke her friend Louis. But the family is saying, don't worry, they're just playing. And they're saying that they're on Instagram not because they want to make money or nothing like this, but basically they just want to make people smile, and I think they're succeeding.
We all needed that today. That's very nice to see. Thank you very much, Elitsa. Bring us the story there of Barley and Louis. I'm hesitant to say it was a quacking good story, but very nice. Thank you very much, Elitsa.